Part two to the work-life mindset challenge. So I got asked immediately after making my first video from someone who was hearing it saying, "Well, tell me more about the practical sides of this." So here you go. When you mesh your work-life balance, you do things like this. For example, I was in law enforcement for 12 years. I was a firearms instructor. I was on the SWAT team. Pretty cool stuff. Well, guess what? I integrated those cool experiences and exposures to my children. I would take them to the shooting range and they would get to see daddy's cool guns from law enforcement. And when they were old enough and trained, they would get to shoot some of those guns. They got to meet some of those SWAT guys. And I tell you what, SWAT guys are pretty cool. So my kids started making little kind of idols and people they could look up to as far as like, hey, this is somebody that I can fashion some of my life after. And they've got little pieces of wisdom and experience. And my friends and family, my parents would come in town and go on ride-alongs in law enforcement and see the action of the streets of Paducah and experience things and to see exactly how I treat people and talk to people and enforce the law and help those in need. That creates a lot of impressionable memories. But in any industry, you can do the same thing. You can bring your kids into the office and you can have them help vacuum and help shred papers and remove staples from documents so they can be scanned and take out the trash. And they're going to remember those days when I went with mommy to work, when I went with daddy to work. I remember going to work with my mother and having no clue how fast to type and stuff like that. I was just a kid. When I saw my mother rattle out how fast she could just smoke the keyboard, I was shocked that somebody could type that fast because I was just learning in grade school how to type. And then we got an old-fashioned typewriter out from the olden days, and I got to play on the typewriter all day, and she taught me exactly how to use it. Those things impressed upon my memory. So you can bring your children around, you can bring your spouse around into the various work events and make new networks of new friends. And guess what? Hey, your husband acts like this at work and did something funny the other day, and you learn something new and you get brought into the conversation and you get it to impress upon people. You can travel with your kids. You have to do one of these sales and negotiations. I actually had my son sit behind me one time while I was negotiating a sale with somebody, and he had never seen what an actual sales pitch formally looked like. And guess what? Boom, light bulbs go off. And now he's an entrepreneur that sells his own services. These are the impressions. These are the way that you blend your work-life balance. The first time I ever had a major speaking gig in front of over 2,000 people, I got special permission on an exclusive private corporate event to bring my kids in so they could watch their daddy speak. That made an impression. Okay? So find these ways to take the skills that you acquire, computer skills, industry skills, and share them at home with your kids and bring them up into your world a little bit. That's the part two of the work-life challenge. Find a way to integrate your family, to crossover exposure, to share a bit of yourself from that work world into your family life. And you can share a little bit of your family life into your work world because, I mean, who doesn't like a really cute newborn baby coming around every time? And now you're a new grandma and your newborn baby comes and walks through the office. Your grandbaby walks through the office. That's pretty darn cute. And I'm happy to have the interruption in my office to tickle a little baby's feet and watch them smile and giggle. Integrate your work-life balance and take a new version of mindset on how you're going to do that for the rest of your life.